Familiar, relatable characters of the kind we've all known in real life. A familiar setting of an urban Indian college campus, and unfortunately a familiar story too. But what makes the Netflix original film Guilty stand out is the brave, sensitive, and insightful way in which it's told. It's the story of a #MeToo case, the kind of narrative that even if you've not personally been exposed to, you've certainly read or heard about. So it's only natural that you'll bring your own biases and preconceived notions to watching it. Guilty lures you in from the first few scenes and quickly holds up a mirror to reflect the deeply internalized sexism and misogyny that we all carry within us thanks to the conditioning from the patriarchal society we live in. Right off the bat, it's likely that you'll judge both the female protagonists, Nanki and Tanu, based on their clothes and appearance and behavior. Oh, she's the kind of girl who only hangs out with the guys. Oh, she's the kind of girl who throws herself at men. Oh, look at what she's wearing. The female characters will trigger all these thoughts in your mind and set off the usual everyday negotiations that women make to stay safe in this man's world. Okay, of course she can wear whatever she wants, but maybe she shouldn't be hanging all over him like that. Of course they're all gonna say that she's asking for it. The film is powerful in how it forces you to confront your instinctive judgments and biases. You sense a niggling feeling of unease that grows into a wave of disgust as you soon understand the dynamics of privilege and power that unfold between the victim and the perpetrator. There is grief as you realize how common this sort of thing is, and rage as you remember that just one bold movie is not going to make much of a dent when it comes to changing centuries of inherited misogyny in our culture. I can imagine many voices arguing that the victim's behavior in this movie indeed justifies what happens to her. That makes me incredibly sad and, of course, guilty for not having the mettle to counter and silence all those voices. The film reminds us just before the end credits how we're all guilty for having the biases that we do and for making the compromises that we must to survive within patriarchy. We may identify as feminists, but it's difficult to fight regressive mindsets and oppressive practices within our own homes and families and friend circles. We don't want to be ostracized or lose those we love or be labeled as too much, too aggressive, too modern, or worst of all, a feminazi, as they say these days. After the cringe fest that was Kabir Singh, I never thought I'd so quickly grow to appreciate Kiara Advani, but she does a fine job here, as does the rest of the cast. All the performances are real and free of extra flourishes, and the film serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us of how far Hindi cinema has come from the days when rape scenes were almost glamorized back in the 90s. I loved the smatterings of Urdu and the random references to the poet Faiz and to Kafka. The only downside was the ending, which felt a little rushed, a little botched, but that in no way takes away from a film that is otherwise so carefully crafted. Guilty makes for an ideal watch on the occasion of International Women's Day. Not a chill out with popcorn kind of watch for sure, but more of a hands curling into fists, nails digging into palms, eyes welling up, and heart clenching kind of experience.